on the agenda?
I would like to, I don't think it's on the agenda, but I would like to talk about circling around for a town meeting in the spring and between now and then getting select board approval for the Beautify Massachusetts, the anti-litter campaign that we had talked about. I thought we had a pretty good reception, Marcella, when we talked to the select board. And that group and organization has been sending out more information, I think, as the litter problem grows. I mean, certainly here on Mendon Street and Chestnut Street, it's just atrocious lately. It's with all the building going on Main Street, Mendon Street has become a cut through, and it's just there's so much trash. So I'd like to propose, even I'd like to. I don't know if it's something that as a group we want to do, or if it would be a separate group. I think it does tie in, as we said before, because all the tires and the litter that has standing pools of water breed mosquitoes, and not good for public health. So I don't know if it's something that we want to request. Well, anyway, so that's what I would really like to do.
Well, it's certainly something that could fall under our, purview. It's also something that's very much, it would be in the interest of the Board of Health. So, both those categories would be great. I don't know, could we solicit help from, say, the DPW? I don't know what they have. They're typically pretty busy, so I don't want to impose on them any more than necessary. But like what they do for Earth Day, if we do, pick up and leave the bags by the side of the road, the DPW picks them up for us, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do have any organized cleanup days, that's something that we could request. Also, you should know that the Earth Day cleanup is happening. We've got somebody organizing it this year.
Oh, who is that, Marcella? Yay.
She's the Shannon Flaherty. She's a new member of the Conservation Commission.
Oh, I think she helped last year. Excuse me for interrupting.
Yeah, she kind of went into it like a week or two before Earth Day, and then I think this year she's getting a head start on it. So she's, she might be somebody. I know that when Lynn Haggerty was managing the Earth Day issues, she said it really was something that you could work on for months before Earth Day, even make it a year-round thing, depending on who's involved and how involved they are. But maybe that's something we could put if she's interested in making it a bigger thing, it might be something that might fit under her umbrella, and either bring her into our efforts or see if she's interested in doing something, independently. And I don't know if she's getting people, who she's getting to help her out, but I can certainly talk to her next time. Maybe tomorrow evening we have a Concom meeting. I can
okay
ask.
And Marcella, and Chris, do you think it would? Chris, I don't think you were with Marcella and I when we met with the select board originally, but I'm wondering if it would be a good thing to circle around and meet with them again, and maybe have some Board of Health folks we could talk to. Is there anybody on the Board of Health that you think would be helpful with this project? Or I don't even know who's on the Board of Health. I know Diane in the office, but I'm not.
Yeah, well,
Laura Hebb is still on.
Laura Hebb is still on, and then the other two are a couple, husband and wife, and they're both on the committee. And I think that they would be receptive. I don't know them personally, but I think that they seem to be, folks who would certainly support it. I don't know if they could put more effort into something like this, but
Yeah.
I think if we do go to the select board, it should really be a clear proposal as to what, have it written out. And if it's something we want to have, create a new committee, they're not, well, maybe this board isn't quite so reluctant to, but they don't like to form new committees. It's a lot of, it can get unwieldy. And,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and I think that this committee, if it wasn't under the umbrella of the Board of Health, would probably not be, might not have been approved. So I do think that we should see about incorporating this into one committee or into the Earth Day program. We should just find a home for it. But if we need to get select board approval for doing it at all, then as long as we put something together that's pretty thorough, I don't see, and I'm not sure, it makes a statement if we show up at the meeting and we speak with them. But it should be something that could be independently presented to them so that they can read it in advance and, think about it. And, when it comes time to voting, we could show up and, give our support.
Okay.
So,
And it's good because this group has a lot of video. There are a ton of Massachusetts towns now that have joined. They have some good links. So it should not entail a lot of work to get a nice program together, even something to show at town meeting for, 2 minutes or something. So,
yeah.
okay.
Another thing I thought we could take advantage of is I don't know if you've seen it, but we have like a town newsletter that's put out at town hall, and any committee is welcome to write something up to include if there's any new information happening, or if there's programs, or if there's something that's important on, to vote on. This is an opportunity for us to share with the public, and I hope the public is reading it. It's it comes out monthly, and it's entirely dependent on who submits stuff. So sometimes there's more, sometimes there's, and Chris is saying that she'd be up for writing for us.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. You're a very eloquent writer.
We appreciate that you are willing to do that, and that's we could maybe we could just pick a topic per month, just focus on mosquito issues with one, or tick with others, or how picking up litter is part of making sure that we manage insects and mosquitoes in this area. So if you're up for writing something once a month, or I can write something if you're not up for it, but I think it would be really good if we had a monthly presence, if we could actually have something every month. And that's part of our mandate to educate. So
It's a good idea.
I don't know how far reaching it is these days, but I think it's
Well, I
going to
signed
grow.
up for it. Oh, excuse me for interrupting, but I signed up for it and I haven't gotten anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It comes out once a month. I think the deadline for November is the November 1st. I'm not certain about that. But
Yeah, and I can go down to town hall and find out why it's not, sticking, but it pushes out, right? You receive it if you sign up for it.
I received I received it via email, but
And it's not just the
something,
shares.
it's also on the website. If you go to the town website, you should be
Yeah.
able to find it there. I haven't followed through, but that's
I think after you mentioned it, I did that, but I'm just so overwhelmed that if it pushes to me, I'll be able to read it, but that'd be great, Chris, about the litter.
That would be super. Yeah.
And
Especially since
if we're
going to sign on to this
Yeah,
program, this is a good introduction.
I'll
And
send you
maybe we
that.
could,
I'll send you the links I have
please,
posted there.
yeah. And we can, this would be something that we could share with other people who might be, good for helping out. So,
Mm,
but yeah, that was just my thought of the month. It's,
a good one. Yeah.
um, and we've got the lawn signs. We distributed about 3/4 of them, and a number of people did sign up with the Friends of Upton State Forest, so they're members, so they get to keep their sign. And what I'll do this week is just write a little note, an email to everybody who you might want to sign up with the Friends, and if they don't, that we'd figure out a way to collect, either stop at people's homes or have them drop them off someplace central. But I will send out an email. But maybe I hope we can encourage more people to join the Friends, because that's really that would be a nice support for the organization that's supporting us, and it's a worthwhile cause, and
Definitely. Yeah.
I think they're going to start doing some more programming soon too. So I think that's the money's going to go towards something interesting, I hope. So
Thinking too, I wonder if when Jeanette does her talk on pollinators, if the friends will be able to have signs for, for there, or something about that there.
yeah, that's a great idea. And she was going to send me something of, I guess when she attended a workshop like this, there was some handouts or there was information online. So she was going to forward that to me. And that's something we can put in the newsletter too, and say, this is something you can do at home, or you can come to the workshop in December. And that would be really, I think that'd be a good thing to promote. I don't know what day the December newsletter is going to be coming out, but we can find that out and we can try to time it so that folks will get the information before the newsletter comes out, or before the program takes place. And I will be in touch with Danette. She's got some seeds that she's been collecting, and I have a friend of mine has a native plant garden, and she let me collect all kinds of seeds from her garden. So I've got
Oh, nice.
some a broad range of seeds that we can use for the program. So this should be pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it because I've been I've been trying to get sort of a native garden going, and it hasn't really done well, and it's probably because I'm not really putting the plants in the place they ought to be. And I didn't even think about having, some of the plants need to overwinter. I was planting in the spring, and some of the seeds need to overwinter and they need to experience that cold. So this is going to be an education for me. So it'll be kind of exciting to give it a
Yeah,
whirl.
yeah, I
So
agree. Is Joy coming back to do any presentations in Upton?
yes, she's doing
It was
something, I
wonderful.
think the same week. It's a children's program, and I forget I know that we tied it in with our mission, but I think that, it is mostly geared to kids. So if you want to bring grandkids to this, or if you know anybody who's interested, I'm sure the library will have information about that. I
Okay,
believe
great.
it's the same. If it's not December vacation week, it'll be February vacation week. It's
Okay, great.
I know it's during a vacation period. So, and Chris has mentioned that there's been West Nile in Worcester in a person, which is sad. I hope that was it were there any fatalities, or was it just, but all in all, we've heard very little about mosquito-borne diseases this summer. We found that mosquitoes who are carrying various, viruses and etc. They were found, but as far as infecting people, that hasn't happened to a great degree. So that's kind of I don't know if we're going through one of those cycles, and this is the cycle where the mosquitoes are not, as active. But I have to, yeah, I'd like to see how it goes next year, because I've mentioned before that all the surrounding communities, all of them around Upton spray, and those are the communities where these mosquitoes were found. So, Chris is doing a double.
A doppelganger. Well, I'm just so interested, Marcella, because this year, especially after Joy's program, I have had so many damselflies and dragons and very few mosquitoes. Of course, it was a drier summer, but because Upton's ahead of the curve with that, because we stopped spraying because the people didn't want that. I'm wondering if we actually, had fewer mosquitoes because we're allowing the natural predators to come back, as Joy's program was about. So
right, I mean that's my theory, but we can't really prove it. But I do like that they have, that we can point to that as a possible.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Chris. I missed that. Tower Hill has what? It just popped up very quickly.
Oh, the pollinator gardens at Tower Hill.
Oh.
And yeah, they have. We were there about a month or so ago, and they've got all kinds of wonderful native plantings, and it's a very inspirational place to go. Is that Worcester Sprays, Chris? Yeah, a lot of communities do. I'm not sure. They have people scared and have people putting, ideas into their heads that this is something they need to do, and we're just doing a disservice to the insects that this affects, not just the mosquitoes, but if we can do our little piece of preservation in Upton, then yay. But that's all I have, is the newsletter thing and the lawn signs. I don't know if there's more that we had.
I think those are great. I kind of feel like the general public, the tone has shifted towards embracing the fact that we need our pollinators. We have a lot of folks who make some money, and it's important to them with honeybees. So, the spraying definitely interferes with their ability to make a living in economic time. I just hope that more towns realize that that the way that the companies are paid through towns, it's very hidden. I think that is a disservice, because I don't think a lot of folks understand that they are actually paying to be sprayed with these chemicals that they're really finding are dangerous, endocrine disruptors. They interfere with a lot in the human body as well as the natural ecosystem. So I feel like we're starting to understand that a little bit better. So that's a good.
The pollinator garden thing is really, it's very fashionable these days. You see them around. I've seen they're places that are consciously doing pollinator gardens that, I went on a little native plant garden tour. It was an informal thing that we did with a friend and in Worcester. And she took us to 3 sites, and one was a public park space, which they were given free rein to do planting for native plants. The second one we went to was the UU Church, or I guess there's 2 of them in Worcester, but this one they just basically turned their landscape area. I guess they could work with the city. They were doing some work on the street, and it kind of opened up an opportunity to do some water, channel the water. And they have like a catch basin for water plants, and they also have native plants. And then the third one is actually a DCR property. I think it's a visitor center, and for the head of the Blackstone River, and it's much more formal. They're using native plants, but they're arranged, whereas the other 2 places we visited, things were just kind of like wild plants growing wild. But it was a different take on it too, and I really thought it was it was really nice to see that the city of Worcester was supportive of projects, and then that a state organization is also they have a new LEED certified building there, and so they are definitely kind of being environmental minded, which is really marvelous. And then, so, the more people see that kind of stuff, and the more people recognize how much work it is to keep a lawn and how little work it is to maintain a wildflower garden, it's it's a no-brainer for me. I can't imagine why anyone would bother. But it's not everyone's aesthetic. I know it's kind of hard to get people to get away from the idea of a lawn, but little by little it's happening. I think people are recognizing that it's not only beneficial, but it's beautiful. There are plants that you can be very formal about it. You can choose plants that are pollinator friendly and native, and you can be you can do whatever you want. There's a lot of options. So anyway, hopefully that will catch on. I really hope that the public is getting more and more.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And unfortunately, I do have to leave right at 6:30. Chris, you were wondering when our November meeting will be? Let me pull out my calendar, my old-fashioned hard copy.
Me too, with my little goats on it.
I have to write things down in order to stay.
I can't put it on the computer. It's too abstract.
Me too.
So the next, the second Tuesday is November is actually Veterans Day, which is fine with me. I think we are allowed to meet. We just have to make sure that we post. If we meet, we can just allow the right amount of time to post. So that may be an extra day that we need to. So it might be 3 days. That might be considered one of the days that doesn't count towards your posting a meeting in time.
And then so, I have a request. I will be in and out a lot in December. I'm wondering if we could skip December and then reconvene January for the 2026 for the meeting after, if that would work. I'm not sure how either of you feel about that.
That's fine with me. What we can do is, and maybe we don't even need to meet in November. The one thing we would want to do is see what Chris writes up, and if we have, any input or, you know, what we can do is vote to approve what Chris writes up and with our comments for the newsletter. And then I think we could do that now and just vote to approve, because we know Chris knows how to write, and we know that everybody is on board with this.
Yeah.
So I'll make a proposal, make a motion to vote that we go ahead and let Chris write something that we can contribute to and then put in the newsletter.
Okay, I second that.
Okay. So I guess we can raise our hands for aye. So do we want to meet in November as well? I mean, I'm happy to skip December. December gets kind of crazy, but we could skip November. If the only thing we really have to discuss is the write-up, then we can do that with an email chain.
Sure, I'm happy skipping November as well. I think it feels like as we move into the cooler months, it's kind of a getting ready for the mosquito season in the spring. So.
Well, yeah, it's not on people's minds too. And I think that, if we start with like Chris is going to start writing about it, about the litter and how that ties in. I think that's just sort of a kind of an interesting, fun facts kind of thing. And when it comes to actually, what to do in your own backyard and how to protect yourself, I think that might be better done in the spring, and that we could, start letting people know what they can do as an immediate thing they can do, which is like right now, getting rid of your standing water is not that big a deal. In fact, I'm collecting water so I can water things, and I haven't seen any mosquito larvae. So, this time of year, it's not as critical. The ticks, however, this time of year are really bad.
I noticed that.
You've probably noticed me, like we just went for a walk, and I feel ticks all over me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And they're the teeny little nymphs, and
they're the little ones. Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually having our dog tested with a tick panel because, we have this young puppy, and she's a low platelet count, and that could be anaplasmosis.
Yeah.
She didn't test positive for Lyme's, but of course we know Lyme's doesn't always, test. But I just think that the thing that's hard is that the mosquito spray companies have now said mosquito and tick spray companies, and there's no proven spray that will kill the tick. So I think still just, the old, brushing, taking, precautions with clothing, but.
And repellents, personal protection is still the best. Chris, I wonder, would you consider writing something about ticks for the first month? And we could try the litter bit for December, because if we can get something in the November newsletter, because as long as it's above freezing, the ticks are active. So that would be really, I think that would be a useful thing to publish right now, because it's right, it's happening now. Mosquitoes aren't a big deal right now, but ticks certainly are. And they're, if we have one of those warm winters, they are, it doesn't have to be much above 32 degrees for ticks to be active. So people should be on the lookout. We get one of those warm winter days, and those fluky 60-degree days in January. I've found ticks on me on those occasions, so it's something to be aware of.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. They give me the creepy.
I know.
And then you start feeling them Where?
It's like, is it my hair? Is it something crawling on it?
Interestingly enough, another piece of science trivia, I was reading the animal that is the most helpful to humans in terms of getting rid of ticks is the possum.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you probably knew this already, but yeah, and it makes sense because they groom themselves in a different way, and they just eat so this huge load of ticks. So it's we should be pro possum.
Up, but I
Not
don't
only are
know
they
if
our
that
most interesting
freeze is
marsupial,
the 6:30 freeze.
yeah,
But
it's
as
incredible.
far we can put them, let's see. Chris has put a couple of things out there which we need to work on, and we need to suggest
Oops, I think you're
approve like
freezing.
a bunch
I'm
of
sorry, Marcella.
minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a bad connection,
Yeah,
Marcella.
I don't even know what this. I don't know. I was supposed to write minutes up. I forget now. What's
Oh,
that?
extra protein. Mm.
Oops. So, um, so Chris is Rose. Oh, there you are. Wait, you stopped moving. You were moving. You stopped.
I think you're frozen, Marcella. So, well, I think that I might have to say goodnight. Maybe the computer's telling us it's time to say
Oh, okay.
goodnight. So,
Maybe
um, so
our
6:32.
well, let's keep all these things that need to be in the back of our heads. If we feel like to meet in November, we can always schedule something.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
All
I'll
right,
make a
bye.
motion that we adjourn.
Oh, second, yeah.
All right. All in favor of adjourning?